Got a pretty hefty piece of black walnut. This came from a farm that my nephew's in-laws have. It's called the Peachy Pig Farm. I can tell you more about that when I get it mounted, but it's a little on the heavy side. 11.5 by 11.5, but since it's a crotch piece, it's be lucky to get 10.5 if I make it totally round. There's the side here. I'm going to find the best center for this. Got a flat spot and hole for a worm screw. Then I'll decide if I want to cut some corners off. Once that's all done, I'll meet you back at the lathe and we'll see what we can make out of it. This was a trimming from a very large branch from an over 100-year-old black walnut tree. As it turns out, there was 2 of them, and last year the biggest one had to come down, and my understanding is this tree is going to have to be cut down. It's a real bad bug infection it had. Okay, and I definitely did cut some of those corners off. I'm going to start up at the top end here because this is black walnut bark and it's fairly thick, and coming in the other direction could peel it right off. So like I said, I'm going to do a little bit of cutting, and then maybe I'll come back a little later this afternoon and do some more. 600 RPM, 5/8 bowl gouge. Alright, since I have pretty much taken care of the bark situation up here, now I will go down here, cut this direction, which is much easier. Yeah, very, very nice black walnut, especially right here. Let me turn the camera. I want you to see that just in case it gets cut away. Well, I hope you can see this because it is just gorgeous. Although it does have some bug holes, but it's got some great chatoyance, it's nice colors. Let's just hope we have it the rest of the way. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and maybe cut a little bit more this direction. Okay, let's do a little more shaping. Okay, that's going to be it for now. That's just beautiful right there. And here. And here. So, it wouldn't bother me to leave that. It wouldn't bother me to leave that. I think we've made a decision, although with this coming down through here, that might be a problem. But I'm going to go have some lunch and I'll think about it. And I'll see you again a little bit later on. Okay, I'm back. I sharpened up a couple 5/8 bowl gouges and I'm just going to start looking for some kind of a shape right here. That's way too wide. 650 RPM. I'm just trying to have a little more wood right into here. Not sure how much more I could get. It's hard to say how deep that bark is, but this just might be alright. I come over there. I'm not sure. That's still pretty darn big here. Well, I'm going to take some more off of this and go right into that area, see if we can get a little more of actual wood right here, especially if it has all of this beautiful grain in there. $760 RPM. Yeah, we actually got more. How about that? I know I'm making it smaller, but it's sort of a compromise. This is really cool here. I wish I knew how far down that bark went. I went another ½ inch. Just a ½ inch more. Wow. I'm afraid I have to do it. I might do another ½ inch. And this is getting this down closer to a decent looking size. Look at that, it's working. This is almost twice as what it was a couple minutes ago. That is really cool. Yeah, this is actually what I was hoping for. I'm liking it a lot. I think by the time we do a little more cleaning up here, that's going to even get a little better looking. That is just great. We'll probably put a tenon on here. Okay, I'm going to square this up. Alright, time to do some sanding. It is the next morning and it's really nice outside. The rain has stopped, so that's a good thing. And I have the lathe running in reverse at about 360. Start with 80 grit. I'll sand it up to 400. We'll come back and put a sealer on here. Well, I spent quite a bit of time sanding this, but I think it's ready. I'm going to use shellac-based sanding sealer. I can't say for sure that's going to be the final finish, shellac that is, but I definitely want to use this. This is going to be the coolest part here. That's up there in the crotch area. I'll save that until we get back over there. Yeah, really nice colors. Look at this. A lot of ribbons of chatoyance going through there, and this grain is nice. I think all the grain is really going to be nice here. This unusual spot right there, it looked like I needed to keep sanding on it, but it's just a little patch of chatoyance. It looks like a turtle, or it looks like a bird. It looks like lots of things, but it looks very pretty. Definitely a nice piece. Oh yeah, look at this. Amazing, isn't it? See that? Okay, here is, yeah, look at that. It's just, oh, it's just so cool. I never get tired of seeing grain show up like this. Well, that was nice. So I'll definitely get another coat of this on. Probably going to finish it with shellac. So I shouldn't wipe down in there. I have to sign that, but that's okay. Alright, another coat of sealer, and maybe I'll put the finish on it front and back at the same time. So I'll see you when it's flipped around. Alright, I've got it all flipped around, and I've got a real low spot here. So I like to start a little inboard of that and then creep up on it to get over here. Doing about 710 RPM. Half-inch bowl gouge. So I can see this in the viewfinder real well, but looking down on it, I need a little bit of light. So I'm going to cheat here a little bit because of this big gap. I'm going to start this using this tool. It's called a Badan. It's kind of like a parting tool. Just want to establish something here. Alright, I don't think that's going to be too bad. We'll do some more cutting before I move the tailstock though. I just switched back to the half-inch bowl gouge. It's cutting pretty decently right now. I don't know if you can hear it, but I can sure feel it. That grain is all crisscrossed because of the crotch area, and it's very grabby. So I'm going to switch to my small carbide hollowing tool, just so I can get a little bit deeper here before I move the tailstock. Alright, back to the 5/8 gouge. Afraid I was getting hand cramps, so I'm going to take this Forstner bit and just drill that post out of the way. Okay, that might be considered cheating, but my hand didn't think it was. Okay, let's see if we can get this finished out. Okay, let's go over this with the negative rake scraper. See if we can get it cleaned up. Some of this grain is torn because it's going every which way. About 650 RPM. We'll see how that works. Okay, I probably put a burr on this 3 times, just going over this area, and I like how it looks right now. There was some tear out because of the crotch piece with grain going different directions, but I've got that. Looks good, so we're just going to sand that little nub off and get everything else sanded. Okay, got my little sanding box here full of this. And we'll start with an 80 grit here. Keep them in little compartments. Okay, we got it on there. Got our dust collector all set up. Like so. And we'll start out sanding at about 480. Alright, I'm exhausted. I probably spent at least an hour and a half sanding the inside, maybe 2 hours. Went through 2 battery packs on my drill sander, and there still could be some areas that I'm not seeing. So I'm using thin down sanding sealer, shellac based, and I'll put some on the bark here first. And because it's going to do exactly what you saw there, it's going to splatter. So we're going to get it on here. It's thin, that's one reason it's doing that. But I'm making it thin just in case there's some areas I need to sand. Now, we're going to get to see what the inside looks like. I'm going to wipe that on. Let's just go right here. Oh boy. That is looking good. You want to come see this? Must be lunchtime. We have leftover Thai food, nice and spicy. How's that look? Look at that.
Nice.
Extra nice.
Oh,
Okay.
that's a keeper.
That's okay. You got to see it.
Got it.
I'll be in and we'll heat up that leftovers. Yummy. Thanks for checking it out. This is my quality control there. Woo! Doggies. I don't know. It's just really nice. Okay. I'll let this sit, come back out, have a look at it. Things were running pretty long, so I'm just showing you little clips of removing that tenon. It wasn't real exciting, except at the end, and I think we're probably going to do the Phil Anderson nub removal. Let's hope that it works. Alright, it's done, and this has to be my very favorite live edge turning that I've done. It is just got some absolutely beautiful grain in it. Look at that. And it's got that feather. That feather runs from one side all the way across. It is just beautiful. And you see it right here. That's the beginning of it. That's pretty cool as well. Got nice bark on it. I like the shape of the profile on it. It's just everything just seemed to work out. Colors, wow, just all over the place with colors. It's just wonderful. So it finished 10.5 inches in diameter. It's about 4 inches tall. Walls are maybe 7/16. I didn't measure them. I just stopped when it looked really good because it was hard to turn. I think because of that crotch piece, it was really hard to turn, and it was really hard to sand as well. But we've got that base down there. I think it's got equally as nice wood down there. Finished it with 2 coats of Zinsser Seal Coat, 2 coats of Zinsser Shellac, and I went over it with the gray Scotch-Brite and then the white Scotch-Brite in between each coat. And then I finished it off with Axe polishing paste with the extra carnauba wax. And that's it. So yeah, like I say, it was hard to do, but I'm sure glad I did it. And I find out that this is a keeper. So that was good to hear that. And I sure hope that you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think. If you did like the video, do me a favor. Click that like button and feel free to leave a comment. Both of those things will really help my channel grow. I do lots of different types of turnings, and you never know what might be next. So be sure to subscribe if you want to see more. And a special thanks to all my current subscribers. You really mean a lot to me. So, till the next time, see you later.
As the chips fall.
As the chips fall.